Velete, thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. There is a simple rule we all learned when we were kids. If you throw a ball hard against a wall, it bounces straight back at you. In politics, we call this the boomerang effect. It means what goes around comes around. The trouble you cause for others will eventually come back to your own door. Right now, this is exactly what is happening to France and its president, Emmanuel Macron. The choices France made years ago finally catching up to them. Look at the recent news. A report from France 24. The reporter says Emmanuel Macron went to visit Damascus, the capital of Syria. This was a huge deal because no French president has visited Syria in 17 years. Macron wanted France to have power in the Middle East again. He wanted to be the first Western leader to claim a spot at the table. But things went wrong quickly. Right after Macron left his hotel, two big bombs went off nearby. One bomb was in a trash bin and the other was in a car. The blast hurt 18 people. The French government quickly told the media that Macron was safe and sound. They wanted everyone to think France was still strong and in control. But Africans link it directly to what is happening in the Sahel region of Africa. They say this is what happens when you try to boss other countries around. France tried to do messy things in Mali, in Burkina and in Niger, and now the trouble is bouncing back. Why are people linking bomb in Syria to West Africa? Because the world is tired of France treating other countries like a chessboard. For a long time, France controlled its former colonies through a system called the Françafrique. Even after these countries got their own independence on paper, France kept control. They controlled the money with the CFA franc. They took the resources like gold and uranium from Niger. France used Niger's uranium for electricity while people in Niger stayed in darkness. France also kept its army in Africa for decades. 10 years ago, TT moved into the Sahel. Mali asked France for help, and France sent thousands of troops under Operation Barkhane. They promised to finish the TT in months. But 10 years passed, and the TT only grew worse. It spread to Burkina and Niger. Regular people realized the French army was not there to solve the problem. They were there to protect French interests and keep control. Anger grew and young people started massive protests shouting, "France must go."
People, Emmanuel, we just missed the death in Syria. This is what happens when you let only one terrorist comes to power. As you want to do with Mali. Watch the video. To reach on France 24, I remind you this information that we develop in tray. And since of clusters, 2 vouchers that exploded. This morning around the Four Seasons Hotel, where President Macron spent the night occasionally from his visit to Syria. The first visit of a French president to Syria. For 17 years, the head of state is safe and sound, and his visit continues to specify the Élysée. A few moments ago, one of these bombs was probably placed in one dumpster, the other in one nearby vehicle of this hotel that the French president had already left at the time. Explosions. To go to the palace, presidential, where they had met with the president, Al-Shara and You Must Stand. On Image Economic Forum. Live from You Discover the French president. Holy and safe as the Élysée said on the horizon. Confirmation par l'image. Who is welcomed by the president. Al-Shara family come out, oh. The Taro just missed my name in Syria, yes, yes. He was going to see one chief of land, did you see the president? Syrian, there it is. One old ground. Yes, he was going to see him because he knows that his elements are being finished in the us, so he was going to see them, so that he can have enough soil to be able to fight the us. But he left where he was going to sleep there. They bombed his corner next door. They missed it. Yes, they missed it. Family. Listen to the report on France 24. Share this in every corner. I say good. We're with you to Alaska. Race, you pass where we are. On France 24, I remind you, this information that we develop in tray. And since 2 bombs that exploded this morning around the Four Seasons Hotel, where President Macron spent the night occasionally from his visit to Syria. The first visit of a French president to Syria. For 17 years, the head of state is safe and sound, and his visit continues. To specify the Élysée a few moments ago, one of these bombs was probably placed in one garbage can, the other in one nearby vehicle of this hotel that the French president had already left at the time. Explosions. To go to the palace. Presidential, where they are met with the president, Al-Shara, and you must stand on Image Economic Forum. Live from you discover. The French president, holy and safe as the Élysée said on the horizon. Confirmation par l'image. Who is welcomed by President Al-Shara. You have seen... Manu went to Syria to see one former chief of land, who is the Syrian president today. Yes. To want to strengthen, here it is. The elements that are in the us, but as God does not sleep. I said, huh? They almost made his chocolat in the hotel where he slept, yes. He got there, he was lucky he woke up early. The next one, guys, we tell you God has his hand on the us, that's what this is about. Family, share this everywhere, call your Manu there, he will go to sit in quiet France. That here he walks too much there. We'll do it. There is our history, in particular, and that of the last 15 years, during which the Syrians have shown all that a united people are invincible, that they would lead one revolution of dignity, and that they would overcome, no matter what it costs. It took courage to those who first, to rats, Aleppo and everywhere in the country, came out first to call for the fall of the regime. It took courage and to those who have supported the big dream of a free Syrians, as they rush their country into a kiss.
Then, the military in Mali took power under our all-in-all General Assimi Goïta. They put their country's pride first and told France to get out. In 2022, French troops left Mali. Soon after, our all-in-all Captain Ibrahim Traoré took power in Burkina Faso. He also told the French military to leave, pack and go. The biggest blow happened in Niger. In July 2023, the military took over under our all-in-all General Assimi Goïta. Niger was France's last big fortress because they get their energy, their everything from Niger. And they know losing Niger was going to be a big blow. So when Niger finally decided that they must leave, they now have to ask ECOWAS to come in and save Niger, because without Niger, France's economy will be in bankruptcy. So ECOWAS rose up. They planned to go and attack Niger until the leaders in Burkina and in Mali decided to say, if you touch Niger, you have touched all of us. One of the interviews that we had from our all-in-all General Assimi Goïta, he made it clear that they even called him on phone and asked him to allow them to have access to Niger, because what happened in Niger is different from what happened in Burkina and in Mali, because they know what they are getting from Niger is that Niger is their lifeblood. But he decided to stay with Niger, and ECOWAS couldn't come. So when you look at all these things, the boom boom that is happening around in Mali, in Niger, in Burkina, because it started in Mali, it went to Burkina, it came to Niger, and it is back to Mali again. And at the end of the day, what did we get? He only came and told us in Kenya, Nairobi, that it's because he has left, or they have left That is why we are seeing all these TT activities happening. So finally, he got somewhere and he's experiencing the taste of his own medicine. And that is why Africa has erupted. The youth on social media are reacting because of what we have, like the history that binds us. We also remember how our soldiers in World War II fought for them, and at the end of the day, what did we get? Even when they rose up to demand for fair wages, we saw how they were taken out like animals. So, with this history that we have faced or we have in connection with this nation, whatever that happens to it is of interest to Africa, just like the way Africa is of interest to them. And they keep telling us that they will never allow us to be, because they need our resources in order to survive. That is why Africa, we are calling for unity, because our strength lies in our unity. Let's unite. Let's come together. Let's fight for the better Africa we are looking for. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world, Middle East, and in Syria.